Hey everyone, happy Good Friday. Today I wanted to share with you these colorful eggs that have been hand blown, and we put one up for every Sunday of Easter. And it's part of a tradition that has evolved and changed over the course of many years and celebration. And personally, I'm not a follower of a specific religion, but it's interesting that I still have a lot of the different festivals of the year that I enjoy celebrating from different cultures as well as from different types of, spiritual paths and practices. So today when I think about these eggs, I'm thinking about the whole collective and this idea of changing over time. The way we celebrate or the way we practice things is part of our evolution. And more I'm finding that it's the willingness to be able to change in the moment, as if every moment is presently asking us or presenting an opportunity for what we'll do in response or how we'll be in response. And those are two things that we encounter often. I'm sure for many of you, you've spent the last month and a half having to adjust and make transitions of all kinds with life and what this has presented for us with this pandemic. And we meet that in a number of different ways. And it's interesting to spend time and think about, hello, hi Pasquala, and to think about what kinds of ways we have resisted what has been presented to us, or how we've willingly moved into it. And today I find myself, like many of you, we've spent time doing a lot of things. This whole time that we live in is a lot of doing and a lot of movement, and all of a sudden that kind of shutting down of everything on the external, drawing us more and more inward, physically in the home, which is what we've encountered, but also for many of us, it's that awareness to go in deeper and deeper. And at this particular time, I think we can find most things virtually, but what if all of a sudden that goes away? We don't have that kind of communication, then what do we do? And the reason I say that is because there's lots of cool stuff out there that people have become really creative with, like, virtual ways to work out at home and all kinds of tips on how to eat and all kinds of ways to have fun at home and be connected and all those things. And those are all such beautiful, beautiful ways to constructively use our creativity. And then there's this other thing that happens. Amidst all the things that we can be doing in our home, there's this moment of being, this moment of just being present, this quietude that has been slowly kind of creeping in and moving in such a subtle way that we find ourselves again being drawn more deeply into our own state of being. And in this state, it really is about being aware of where our thoughts are, being aware of our feelings, being in touch with all those dimensions of ourselves. And this brings me back to this idea of the egg. For many people, nutritiously speaking, and no offense to people out there that are vegans, but for many it is a complete form of nutrition, or many view it in that way in terms of what it contains and its nutritional value. Either way, whether you look at it that way or just as an egg and the wholeness of it. Hey there, Kevin. The idea is that it's a whole, and in a symbolic way, it represents this whole collective and how we're all a part of this whole collective. And on this day, although, like I said, I don't celebrate Good Friday from a religious context of a specific religion, the idea of a self-mastery, of being in that awareness that we understand our part in the whole, allows this time for us right now to be one that no matter where you are, what your circumstances are, just the fact that you can have that awareness and enter it with a willingness and a care for this moment is a contribution to the whole. So for instance, I find myself sometimes thinking, oh, if I could donate to this one or that one, there's, relief funds, there's food funds for the homeless, and, arts funds and small business funds that are going, all kinds of beautiful things. And then I have my own family to care for too, and how can I help all of them, and, all the different, needs that are out there. And I think for you all today to consider this whole, how we are a part of this whole, and the one significant contribution that every one of us can make, and it's free, doesn't cost a dime, just free, is to be so present in our awareness at this moment. What we bring to this moment, what we receive from this moment, how we respond to this moment that we're in, and carry that awareness into the world. That's our contribution to the whole. So I would say to you today, think about that in terms of this Good Friday. For many celebrating, I would take the energy of that passage that occurred in a symbolic way of a being that was so present, so aware, so self-mastered, that the example has been given unto us, and what we can truly do as we create our lives. And in that energy, I would say we hold this moment for our presence and our contribution to the whole with a willingness to be with ourselves. Blessings on your Good Friday. Thank you. And may you enjoy that in all the beautiful ways that we get to experience this life and love. Happy Easter to you.